So the players that are confirmed, according to the Blue Lock Wiki, to be in the next Gen 11 are itoshisae, michaelkaiser, and Don Lorenzo. Now you might be curious about who is the best one amongst them. Fear not, as I'll be going to go over all of them, distinguishing their qualities, analyzing their plays, and at the end I will give you my personal ranking. So let's start off with Don Lorenzo. The first time we saw him play was, of course, in the Bastard Munchen versus Ubers match. His first interaction with the ball was actually against Michaelkaiser in Chapter 210. We can see that he makes a laughingstock out of him and snatches the ball away with his infamous zombie defense. This shows that he can clearly compete against the next Gen 11 as he literally denied Michaelkaiser from the ball. The chapter after that, he pretends to shoot but was actually planning to dribble. The reason for him moving up the field was, of course, the interchangeable design he has with Nico Iki. So he dribbles past Kunigami with quick feints and dashes, leaving him completely static and unable to do much. His next victim is Reichi as he jiggles the ball like crazy and does stepovers. He proceeds to nutmeg Reichi and get past. His ways of playing are so unorthodox, but it actually works somehow. Although the reason for that might just be that Snuffy literally snatched the guy out of the streets to play football, and according to my knowledge, that was pretty recent as well, which makes him being able to keep up with other people who have played football for a way longer period, like Michaelkaiser, all the more impressive. But we have seen such instances more times in Blue Lock. Like the prodigies Ryo Mikage and Nagi Seishiro, they have been playing football for a very short time, with Nagi's career just being a bit over 6 months long, I think. Now, from the things we've seen from just those two chapters, one of Lorenzo's qualities is the fact that he can keep a stable core even in those weird positions, like he was when facing Reichi. And I think that especially as a defender, this versatility is very powerful. Another thing that distinguishes him from the other players ties in perfectly with the first one, because other than just having a stable core, the guy also has very flexible limbs, which makes it so that he can be as creative with the ball as he wants to. This unorthodox way of playing is Lorenzo's football. I'll use this moment to quickly ask you guys that if you are liking my content so far and wish to support me, subscribe to the channel. Now back to the video. Now for Michaelkaiser, let's take Bastard Munchen's game against Manshine City, for example. The reason being that this is when Isagi realizes his genius. So I will take this in a more analytical approach and let Isagi do most of the talking. So in Chapter 181, Kaiser and Ness are going for the counterattack. Isagi tells us readers that he'll follow Kaiser closely behind and study his thought patterns from his viewpoint. He begins by saying that Kaiser always keeps a clear pass course from Ness and runs toward the course that would be most troublesome to the defender in front of him. He then steps in the opposite direction of his center of gravity and passes to Ness with perfect timing and without blinking as well. After that, he sends it back perfectly with a 1-2. One very important bit here is that their formation doesn't waste a single movement. Kaiser will pick a less crowded spot and run straight ahead. He plans on crashing through the defenders. But the panel after that, Isagi realizes that Kaiser isn't looking at the ball at all, which means that he is prioritizing his field of view over looking at the ball because that will constrain his vision. And after Isagi's synapsis, Kaiser uses Predator Eye to shoot through 3 defenders, perfectly landing the ball in the upper left corner. In the next chapter, we get a detailed explanation of how he actually made that goal. It's the way he uses his eyes. Humans have 2 types of vision. The first one is central vision, which directly perceives something in a direction. The second one is low-resolution images that are outside of the central vision, which is named peripheral vision. When it comes to football, in order to perceive the entire field, every player, and the ball while in motion, it's important to be able to absorb as much information as possible from your peripheral vision. If you focus too much on the ball with your central vision, you lose information on the scene around you, like I've mentioned briefly before. So when it comes to your surroundings, your decision-making speed is delayed. But Kaiser is constantly inputting new information that he gets from his peripheral vision. By constantly renewing information on both friends and foes, he knows who is doing what and where. By having that overwhelming amount of information, he's able to arrive at a best point that no one else could understand. Then compared to the world I can see, it's like he's watching from a higher dimension. If the state of the field is a two-dimensional image, then the image of a play that one player can visualize would be something three-dimensional. When each player moves around using only their own images, it can cause misses and tears. Having a vision above which can visualize every image and destroy them, one could say that Kaiser's eyes and brain are a four-dimensional vision, a godlike vision that stands above that of everyone else. This is when Isagi found out the formula behind Michael Kaiser's plays, that is, predator eye combined with metavision. But the most interesting part about this is that Kaiser has both predator eyes and metavision, which means that Isagi could very well obtain predator eye as well, like the community speculated. I wanted to go over his goal against Ubers as well, but that would make this part of the video very long, so we move on. So that means that all that's left is itoshisae, and for this one, I'm going to use bluelock's match against the U20 team as an example, of course. Let's start at the point before Rin awakens in chapter 139. The score is even, with itoshisae and ryusei initiating the kickoff. Itoshisae moves past Nagi and runs towards Isagi Yoichi, and shortly after that we can see that he gets past Isagi easily through an elastico nutmeg. Isagi goes on a rant again, saying that instead of prioritizing a pass whenever a chance showed up like before, he's now breaking past himself to increase his own pass options. In response to us entering flow and the entire field going a level up, itoshisae raised his gears as well. And here we can see he gets through Karasu and Baru very easily, tapping the ball up and running past them. But actually, he was aiming for Karasu's right side. So Rin tries to intercept that ball, but fails horribly. Itoshi Rin missed the ball, and Sei jumped over it easily and acted like he wasn't even there. In the next chapter, Itoshisae dribbles past Yukimiya Kenyu swiftly, as Rin explains that natural-born dribblers have their own individual style, and they actively move past defenders. But Itoshisae has a passive play style. He specializes in moving after observing the opponent's rhythm and motions, then he flows past with a counter dribble. The essence of Itoshisae's football lies in destroying beautifully as he jumps over Hiyori, who has missed his sliding. Itoshi Rin awakens and moves down the field towards Itoshisae's play. Itoshisae hits a beautiful curve pass that lands at ryusei. He calculated it perfectly, but Rin got in their way. Let's fast forward to chapter 146. Itoshisae snatches the ball away and ryusei moves up. It's their last play. He confidently nutmegs and dribbles past Isagi Yoichi. Baru missed his tackle, and Nagi Seishiro is going for the ball now, but Itoshisae flicked it over him with a back heel tap. Now awakened Rin tries to get in his way, so they duke it out together. Itoshisae jiggles the ball around and traps the ball just out of Rin's reach. He taps the ball up and tries to get past him with a back heel tap like he did with Nagi, but Rin is having none of that and manages to catch up. Itoshisae taps the ball up slightly and traps the ball to his right. The battle is a very intense one, and as soon as Itoshisae tried to make his next move, Itoshi Rin snatched the ball away from him. Now, from these chapters, we can deduce that the thing that distinguishes Itoshisae the most from the other Next Gen 11 players is his passing ability. His ability to feel out his teammates and pass accurately is like no other. He's also very technical with the ball, as we've seen in these couple of chapters. I don't know if he has metavision or not, as the author hasn't clearly shown any signs of that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. And he also has that bit of Karasu. He can analyze the playing field and his opponents, find out their weaknesses, and destroy them like that, which is the polar opposite of Rin's awakening, basically. I'm very certain that Itoshisae hasn't shown anywhere near his peak, though, and I think that the Blue Lock community can back me up on this one. Now we get to the thing you've all been waiting for. How would I rank these three players in order? Well, from what the Blue Lock author has shown so far, I think I'll put Don Lorenzo as third, Itoshisae as second, and Michael Kaiser as best among the Next Gen 11. Now, I want to add a disclaimer in here that if Itoshisae were to choose his true prowess in his match against the U20 team, I might have put him above Michael Kaiser. But the thing is, the limit to Itoshisae's capabilities are certain, hence why I've put him at the second spot. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel to show your support. I'm out, egoists. Peace.